Episode 5, and I've given it the lowest rating of the season so far, 5.8. And unfortunately, I know a lot of you are going to be mad at this one because apparently it has a good rating, but not for me. And let's get into it. The reason is that there are supposedly two major deaths. These are deaths to significant characters, but I have just met them. I know nothing about them. I am not connected to them in any way. So when they do die, I feel nothing. Like, I do not get affected at all. It just seems like they die for the sake of speeding up the drama or speeding up the plot and the timeline, because of course the show is trying to lead us somewhere, it's trying to build something, but in this case for me it just comes across as way too rushed. The episode actually starts and opens with Lady Rhea's scene. And this is the first time we've ever met Lady Rhea. I know nothing about her. The only thing I know is that she's Daemon's wife, and Daemon has treated her horribly. And she's obviously heard the rumors of Daemon saying that the sheep are more beautiful than the woman in the veil. And we find out that there's never even been a consummation of the marriage. So clearly he has no love or affection for this woman in any way. She then starts figuring out her plot because she knows that Daemon has been kicked out, and then she's trying to think about what he's going to do next, and it becomes pretty clear that he's probably going to try kill her simply because they have no children together, and then her castle will go to be inherited by Daemon since he's the husband, you know? And that's exactly what happens. Daemon knocks her off her horse, she gets crippled, but then he finishes the job with a stone to the head, right? It seems like that's what happened. That's the end of Lady Rhea, the beginning and the end all in 2 minutes. For me, disappointing. I don't feel anything, but it definitely adds to Daemon as someone or as a character that's willing to do anything to advance his plans. This is exactly what happened later on at the pre-wedding dinner. Lady Rhea's cousin accuses Daemon of killing her, and Daemon basically acts like he did nothing wrong, but he definitely looks like he is not feeling any remorse or guilt or even any sadness or emotion to losing his wife, and then speaks about how he will come later on to Runestone to lay claim to the land because it's his inheritance, and since they have no children, everything that Lady Rhea was going to get, he should get. Then basically the king plans this big pre-wedding dinner celebration. After this, there would be a planned 7 days of feasting and dancing, and then it would end off with the biggest wedding that the realm has ever seen. However, this is where all the drama happens. Why? Because now we learn that Laenor, my boy Laenor, apparently is actually into boys himself, right? So Laenor is about to marry the princess, but the problem is he is gay. The problem is that he's having a tough time keeping the secret that people like his parents already know, and the princess herself has found out doing her own investigations that there are rumors, and these are sort of really concrete rumors. However, she says it's okay. This is an arranged marriage anyway. All you have to do is do your duty. Give me kids, give me a son so that my future son can sit on the throne, and you can do whatever you want. I don't like you anyway. I don't love you anyway. I will also do whatever I want during the marriage. As long as we are seen as picture perfect, then the rest doesn't matter. So it's basically an open marriage while they need to produce kids to save face. Now, the Princess Rhaenyra's little sideman over here has clearly caught feelings. Once he heard Rhaenyra was getting married, he basically proposes that they elope together. My man is just the king's guard. He's not from noble birth. He can't offer her a life of riches and of royalty. So he basically says, are you going to marry for tradition? Are you just going to marry for titles? Or do you want to get married to someone who you actually love? We can leave this life behind, go to the free cities, forget who we are, and live as normal people, just you and I. Rhaenyra laughs it off basically and says, no, I still want us to continue being casually, involved, but I am not interested in marriage from you. That rejection turned out to be Ser Christen Cole's villain arc, because from there, he just clearly loses his mind, right? Firstly, Queen Alicent was approaching him to find out about the rumors of Rhaenyra sleeping with Daemon the other night, if those were true. Since Christen Cole is Rhaenyra's closest bodyguard, he should know her ins and out of the room. And basically, Alicent is trying to put her words together to say it in a nice way while she's not trying to question the princess's virtue and explain why she's worried, and doesn't actually mention Daemon. But your boy has been clearly whipped, he's been heartbroken, and he's lost his mind. He doesn't hear what the queen is actually saying and asking. And he basically confesses to sleeping with the princess, which is basically a crime, right? It's a crime and it's punishable by death for him. He could be tortured. And he basically asks, no, just kill me properly. Don't torture me. But yes, it did happen. I did sleep with the princess, which confuses the Queen Alicent even more, because this confirms that Rhaenyra was lying. Like I said in the previous video, she was telling a half truth. Yes, she did not sleep with Daemon, but she was sleeping with Christian Cole. Alicent asked her, best friend to best friend, sister to sister, please tell me the truth. Did you sleep with Daemon? And she said, no, Daemon didn't touch me. Again, a half truth, because that was true, but that meant that Alicent thought that she was still a virgin, and that could cause a lot of problems, right? Because what happened is that Alicent's father, the Hand of the King, got dismissed from his position because that's what he told the king, that Rhaenyra had done something that night, and the king thought he was lying and basically trying to now use his influence or his position with the king to advance his family's position, and that would be by making the king basically name his firstborn son with Otto Hightower's daughter Alicent, which they currently have, as the heir to the throne. Remember, the king has currently named the princess, his first daughter, actually, as heir to the throne. However, if he found out that she was in fact ruined, that she wasn't a virgin, then it would cause a lot of problems, because maybe she might not be an ideal suitor to find a perfect match anymore, but also because it would bring shame and embarrassment to her name, that the king would have probably disinherited her and removed that title. So it looked like that's what Otto Tower was doing, and he got fired for it and dismissed. So now this has obviously left Alicent with no family in King's Landing. And as his father was leaving, he basically said to her that if Rhaenyra becomes queen to the throne, or when the king eventually dies, her son, which is Otto Hightower's grandson, the firstborn son of the king, would be seen as a threat to the throne, and the only way that they could remove that threat is by killing the son. So that is why Alicent has to wake up and actually try and influence the king to make his firstborn child heir, or else he'll forever be a threat to the throne, simply because of tradition, simply because the world will not accept Rhaenyra as a female queen. There's never been a queen before. When the realm got a chance to elect a queen, they didn't. So basically, instability is inevitable. If Rhaenyra becomes queen, she'll think that she needs to murder the son. It's as simple as that, because the world would prefer the son to be on the throne. So when she puts this together and she walks in during the dinner speech, huge moment, she comes in wearing green, which is actually the color of the High Towers of Old Town when they go to war, right? So a huge statement of intent when she walked in. However, arguably the biggest drama happens during this dinner celebration, where we find out that Laenor's boyfriend, Sir Joffrey, the secret boyfriend, actually figures out that Christian Cole is probably in love and sleeping with Rhaenyra, and threatens Christian Cole to expose their secret, or basically threatens him to keep their secrets, the fact that they're both lovers of the bride and the groom, to each other, right? And he basically says if he was to reveal anything, he would kill her. So Joffrey would kill Christian Cole. Christian Cole doesn't take this lightly, attacks Sir Joffrey and basically smashes his face and kills him right there and then. For me, like I said, Christian Cole has completely lost his mind. It happens too quick. I think he came off as someone who was very sensible, very responsible, knows his position, but I did not think he's had a lot of, public outrage where, especially for a knight that are known to have a lot of respect, I don't know where that came from. But like I said, maybe it's building because he lost Rhaenyra. She's getting married. She didn't want to elope with him. The queen has found out that he slept with the princess and he could be killed as well. So probably all of this got to him, and now you're just threatening a man that's going through it and he just lost it. And it ends with actually him about to kill himself. He was about to stab himself in the stomach, but the queen comes up and stops him, right? So he basically knew his fate after that, but it looks like the queen has intervened. Interesting episode. A lot of important things clearly happened. However, I was not thoroughly impressed with how it was executed. I think if they were a little bit more patient, maybe built it up for another episode before these big thing happened, maybe I would have been more connected to it. But it ends again with the wedding actually happening at the death scene. And the same hall, Rhaenyra does get married to Laenor, and they say their vows. I hope you enjoyed the episode. I hope you enjoyed it much more than I did, and that's okay. This is the lowest rating that I've ever had so far, 5.8. Not too good, but it wasn't my favorite. So that is my honest truth. I hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. I'm pretty sure it'll probably be better.